Section 1 Introduction. We're going to talk about a new approach to text-to-image models, which are computer programs that can create a wide variety of images based on text descriptions. These models can generate images of different places, times, styles, and appearances, like a sketch of Paris on a rainy day or a manga drawing of a teddy bear at night. They can even include specific subjects, like objects, animals, or people, in the images they create. However, these models can be tricky to control and often require a lot of tweaking and resampling to create the exact image you have in mind. This is especially true when you're trying to include a personal item or character in the image and also match the text description of the content and style. Our work proposes a new method to improve personalization and alignment with the text prompt, especially for complex prompts. Personalization methods usually involve fine-tuning pre-trained text-to-image models on a small set of personal images, while using heavy regulation to maintain the model's capacity. This helps to preserve the model's prior knowledge and allows the user to create images with various prompts. However, it can make it difficult to capture the unique features of the target subject. If we focus too much on identifying the target subject accurately, it can interfere with the model's ability to align with the text prompt. Balancing these two aspects, identity preservation and prompt alignment, is a key challenge in personalization methods. Content creators and AI artists often have a clear idea of the text prompt they want to use, which may involve stylization and other factors that current personalization methods struggle with. So, we decided to take a different approach. Instead of trying to create a method that works well with a wide range of prompts, we focused on excelling with a single prompt. This approach allows us to learn the unique features of the subject from a few or even a single input image, and to generate richer scenes that are better aligned with the user's desired prompt. Our method is based on the idea that existing models already know about all the elements in the target prompt, except for the new personal subject. So, we use the pre-trained model's prior knowledge to prevent personalized models from losing their understanding of the target prompt. We introduce a framework that includes two parts: personalization, which teaches the model about the new subject, and prompt alignment, which keeps the model from forgetting elements included in the target prompt. This approach frees content creators from the constraints of specific prompts and unlocks the full potential of text-to-image models. We've tested our method and found that it performs better than the baseline methods in both multi-shot and single-shot settings, without needing to be pre-trained on large-scale data. We've also found that our method can be easily adapted for multi-subject personalization and can be used for new applications, like drawing inspiration from a single artistic painting, not just text. In terms of related work, there has been significant progress in text-to-image synthesis in recent years, largely due to training on large-scale data. Our approach extends the understanding of pre-trained diffusion models to new subjects. We've used the publicly available Stable Diffusion model for most of our experiments. Text-based editing methods guide local and global edits using contrastive multimodal models. The prompt-to-prompt (P2P) method was proposed as a way to edit and manipulate generated images by editing the attention maps in the cross-attention layers of a pre-trained text-to-image model. Early personalization methods, like textual inversion and dream booth, tune pre-trained text-to-image models to represent new subjects. Later methods improved memory requirements using low-rank updates or compact parameter space. Personalization can also be used for other tasks, like learning relational features from reference images, and decomposing and visualizing concepts at different abstraction levels. Some researchers have pre-trained encoders on large data for near-instant, single-shot adaptation. Single-image personalization has also been addressed, where the authors use segmentation masks to personalize a model on different subjects. In our work, we focus on prompt alignment, and any of the previous personalization methods may be replaced by our baseline personalization method. Section Summary. Text-to-image models have shown impressive abilities to generate diverse images, but controlling these models to create specific images is challenging. This paper proposes a method for better personalization and prompt alignment, focusing on excelling with a single prompt rather than a wide range of prompts. The approach leverages the pre-trained model's prior knowledge to prevent personalized models from losing their understanding of the target prompt, resulting in superior results compared to baselines in both multi- and single-shot settings. Section. Score distillation sampling, SDS. We're going to talk about a technique known as score distillation sampling, SDS. This method has been used to enhance 3D generation from text input using 2D diffusion models. It's been applied in various areas such as SVG generation, image editing, and more. However, there are some issues with this technique, such as oversaturation and blurriness in the generated images. To address this, we've developed a framework that uses score sampling to better align with the target text prompt. We could also consider other score sampling techniques to further improve this alignment. Now, let's talk about text-to-image alignment. There are some problems that can arise when using base diffusion generative models, such as ignoring specific parts of the text, mixing attributes, and more. Previous methods have tried to solve these problems by reweighting attention maps, optimizing latent variables, or retraining with additional data. However, these methods don't address the alignment of the prompt in personalization methods. Instead, they focus on improving the base models to generate images that align with the text. Let's move on to generative diffusion models. These models generate an image by performing a backward diffusion process. The model progressively removes noise from a source to produce a real sample from an underlying data distribution. At each step, the model predicts a noise value based on a text prompt and the current step. The model is trained by maximizing the evidence lower bound, ELBO, using a denoising score matching objective. This objective is a measure of the difference between the model's noise prediction and the actual noise. Next, let's discuss personalization. Personalization methods fine-tune the diffusion model for a new target subject by optimizing on a small set of images representing the subject. For example, textual inversion optimizes new word embeddings to represent the new subject. This is done by pairing a generic prompt with a placeholder, where the placeholder is mapped to the newly added word embedding. Another method, Dreambooth, adjusts existing word embeddings to represent the personal subject. This can be done by adjusting the model weights, or using more efficient methods that employ a low-rank adaptation, LoRa, on a smaller subset of weights. Our main goal is to train the model to generate images related to a new subject. However, unlike previous methods, we focus on achieving optimal results for a single text prompt. For example, if the subject is one's cat and the prompt is a sketch of my cat in Paris, we aim to generate an image that accurately represents the cat while incorporating all elements of the prompt, including the sketchiness and the Parisian context. To achieve this, we optimize two objectives: personalization and prompt alignment. For personalization, we fine-tune the model to reconstruct the subject from noisy samples. To improve prompt alignment, we guide the model's noise prediction towards the target prompt. By doing this, we can generate the target subject while ensuring the noise predictions align with the text. Finally, for personalization, we follow previous methods and fine-tune the model on a small set of images representing the subject. We update the model's weights using the LoRa method, where we only update a subset of the network's weights, specifically, the self and cross-attention layers. Section Summary. Score distillation sampling, SDS, is a technique that leverages 2D diffusion models to generate 3D content from textual input. It addresses issues such as oversaturation and blurriness by proposing a framework that uses score sampling to maintain alignment with the target prompt. Personalization methods fine-tune the diffusion model by optimizing on a small set of images representing the new subject, and the key idea is to optimize two objectives: personalization and prompt alignment. Section 4.3 Prompt-Aligned Score Sampling. In this section, we'll discuss two key aspects of our research: prompt-aligned score sampling and how to avoid oversaturation and mode collapse. Let's start with prompt-aligned score sampling. When we fine-tune a model on a small set of images for a long time, it can lead to overfitting. This means that the model's predictions always guide the denoising process towards one of the training images, regardless of the prompt. We noticed that overfitted models could even guess the inputs from noisy samples in just one denoising step. To illustrate this, we analyzed the model's prediction of the original image, which we'll call x0. The model's estimation of x0, which we'll call x0 hat, is derived from the model's noise prediction. Before personalization, the model guides the image towards a sketch-like image, where the background is white, but the details of the subject are missing. If we apply personalization without prompt-aligned loss personalization, PALP, the model overfits, and elements from the training images, like the background, become more dominant. This suggests that the model is not aligning with the prompt, a sketch, and is overfitting to the input image. However, when we use PALP, the model's prediction guides the denoising process towards a sketch-like image, while still being personalized. For example, a cat-like shape is restored. Our main idea is to encourage the model's denoising prediction to align with the target prompt. We also push the model's estimation of the original image, x0 hat, to align with the prompt. In our example, where the target prompt is a sketch of V, we guide the model's prediction towards a sketch and prevent overfitting to a specific image background. This, along with the personalization loss, encourages the model to focus on capturing the identifying features of V, rather than reconstructing the background and other distracting features. To achieve this, we use score distillation sampling techniques. We optimize the loss between x0 hat and a clean target prompt that doesn't contain the placeholder, V. By minimizing the loss, we ensure that we stay aligned with the textual prompt, as the pre-trained model has all the knowledge about the prompt elements. Now, let's move on to avoiding oversaturation and mode collapse. Guidance by the model can lead to less diverse and oversaturated results. While alternative implementations can improve diversity, the overall personalization is still affected. We believe this is because the loss pushes the prediction x0 hat towards the center of the distribution of the clean target prompt, which contains only the subject class, like a sketch of a cat. As a result, the loss encourages x0 hat towards the center of the distribution of a general cat, not our specific one. To address this, we found the delta denoising score variant to be more effective. We use the residual direction between the personalized model's prediction and the pre-trained one, where their guidance scales are different. The score can then be estimated, which perturbs the denoising prediction towards the target prompt. Our experiments found that having imbalanced guidance scales, where one is greater than the other, performs better. We also considered two variant implementations, using the same noise for the two branches, the text alignment and personalization branches, and using two independent noise samples for the branches. We found that using the same noise achieves better text alignment than the latter variant. Section Summary. The prompt-aligned score sampling technique is used to prevent overfitting in models trained on small image sets. By aligning the model's denoising prediction with the target prompt, the model focuses on capturing the identifying features of the subject rather than reconstructing distracting elements. The delta denoising score variant is found to work better than other methods, as it perturbs the denoising prediction towards the target prompt and achieves better text alignment. Section. On the computational complexity of PALP. Let's discuss the computational complexity of PALP. The gradient in this context is directly related to the personalization gradient, with a specific scaling factor. This factor is the negative square root of the difference between 1 and the average alpha value, divided by the square root of the average alpha value, all multiplied by the gradient of the LoRa theta function. Since we also calculate this gradient as part of the derivative, we don't need to backpropagate through the text-to-image model via the prompt alignment branch. This could be beneficial for using guidance from larger models to enhance the personalization performance of smaller models. We also note that the scaling term is quite high for large t-values. To ensure a uniform gradient update across all time steps and improve numerical stability, we rescale the gradient by the square root of the average alpha value divided by the square root of the difference between 1 and the average alpha value. In our experiments, we use stable diffusion, SD, v1.4 for comparison and ablation purposes, as many state-of-the-art methods are available in this version. We further validate our method with larger text-to-image models. The complete experimental setup, including learning rate, number of steps, and batch size, is detailed elsewhere. For evaluation, we follow previous works and use a z-score to measure alignment with the target, clean, prompt, which does not include the placeholder, v. We also use feature similarity between the input and generated images with the target prompt to measure subject preservation. We use a model trained by OpenAI on their proprietary data for both metrics. This ensures that the model used by SDV 1.4 differs from the one used for evaluation, which could compromise the validity of the reported metric. For the multi-shot setting, we use data collected by previous methods, with different subjects like animals, toys, personal items, and buildings. Checkpoints of previous methods exist for these subjects, allowing for a fair comparison. In our ablation studies, we start with a baseline personalization method and gradually add different components contributing to our final method. We consider early stopping as a way to control text alignment. The fewer the number of iterations, the less likely we are to harm the model's prior knowledge. However, this comes at the cost of subject fidelity. The longer we tune the model on the target subject, the more we risk overfitting the training set. Adding guidance improves text alignment, but it severely harms subject fidelity, and image diversity is substantially reduced. Alternative distillation sampling guidance improves on this, however, it still produces less favorable results. Replacing this with PALP guidance significantly improves text alignment and maintains high fidelity to the subject. We also consider two variants, one where we use the same noise for personalization loss or sample a new one from the normal distribution. Interestingly, using the same noise helps with prompt alignment. Furthermore, scaling the score sampling equation by the square root of the average alpha value divided by the square root of the difference between 1 and the average alpha value further enhances performance. We compare our method against multi-shot methods, including several others. Our evaluation set contains 10 different complex prompts that include at least 4 different elements, including style change, time or a place, color palettes. We asked users to count the number of elements that appear in the image, text alignment, and rate the similarity of the results to the input subject, personalization. Our method achieves the best text alignment while maintaining high image alignment. However, one method achieves the best image alignment because it is prone to overfitting. Indeed, investigating each element in the prompt, we find that this method achieves the best alignment with the class prompt while being significantly worse in the style prompt. Our method has slightly worse image alignment since we expect appearance change for stylized prompts. We validate this hypothesis with a user study and find that our method achieves the best user preference in prompt alignment and personalization. Full details on the user study appear elsewhere. Section Summary. The authors propose a method called PALP that improves personalization performance by using guidance from larger models without the need for backpropagation through the text-to-image model. They also introduce a scaling term to ensure uniform gradient updates and numerical stability. The method is evaluated using score and feature similarity metrics and compared against existing methods in terms of text alignment and image alignment. PALP achieves the best text alignment while maintaining high image alignment, outperforming other methods in prompt alignment and personalization according to a user study. Section. Single-shot setting. In the context of a single-shot setting, our goal is to tailor text to image models using just one image. This is particularly useful when we only have one image of the subject we're interested in, like an old photograph of a loved one. We've compared our approach with other methods that use encoders, such as IP adapter, among others. We used portraits of 2 individuals for this comparison, expecting that the other methods would be able to adapt to our chosen images, given that they've all been pre-trained on human faces. Some of these methods also optimize at the time of testing. Our findings show that our method aligns well with both the prompt and the identity. In contrast, previous methods had a harder time preserving the identity. We observed that methods based on optimization were better at preserving identity, but this often came at the expense of aligning with the text. Importantly, our method had a higher success rate, and the quality of the results didn't depend on the initial seed chosen. Moving on to multi-concept personalization, our method can handle personalization involving multiple subjects with just a few tweaks. Let's say we want to combine 2 subjects, which we'll call S1 and S2, in a specific scene described by a given prompt Y. We start by assigning 2 different placeholders, V1 and V2, to represent our target subjects S1 and S2. During the training process, we randomly select an image from a set that includes images of both S1 and S2. We then assign different personalization prompts, YP, for each subject. For example, we might use a photo of V1 or a painting inspired by V2, depending on the context. We then carry out our method, keeping the target prompt in mind, such as a painting of V1 inspired by V2. This allows us to combine different subjects into coherent scenes or use a single piece of artwork as a reference for generating images inspired by art. You can find the results in the following sections, along with more details and additional results.